Yeah. U.R.O. You already know it's the Galactic One, Illinu.L. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole U.R.O. Everybody living in the universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. This message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. Show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Y'all already know how I do. We about to jump right into the demonstration. I shade all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messiahs, messengers who came before, making the platform available so we could be here today, giving you the message. I say, jumping right into the demo. Jumping right into the demo on this day of love to cap the night off with some real love. We're gonna talk about farmland in the U.S. and we're gonna talk about the importance of agriculture. Farmland in the U.S. and the importance of agriculture. Let me get my notes. You heard? So yeah, building with my son Illa, he definitely told me to drop the demo, go ahead on in and release this for the people, so I'm gonna go ahead on and do so. The reason why I even stumbled upon this farmland in the U.S. because recently Bill Gates has been said that he bought up 80% of the farmland in the United States. 80% of the farmland in the United States. Now let's be clear that the United States itself in acreage is 2.43 billion acres. 2.43 billion acres itself, and Bill Gates owns 80% of the farmland in the U.S. Combined together of all his farmland, wherever he got it at, Idaho, wherever he buying it at, in all the different locations, if you add it and combine all the land together, it's about 25% the size of Idaho. So how big Idaho is, 25% of that is how much farmland Bill Gates owns about altogether. The reason why, like I said, I looked into this because a lot of people had the speculation of their conspiracy theories that Bill Gates is cloning the food, he about to do this to the food, or he's about to starve us and etc. and all this other stuff. So it made me look and it says, damn, why does this one white man own all of this farmland that we all got to eat off of? Basically, we've been eating off these lands. And, the importance is for us to recognize once again, that land is wealth. And you have to learn agriculture because agriculture is how you feed your families and sustain life, right? So they took that away from us, you know what I'm saying? Note that the indigenous peoples of the American lands were the best agricultures in the whole planet. Nobody had agricultural skills like the indigenous people of the Americas, basically. You feel me? We were the best agricultures on the whole fucking planet. You heard? So, with that being said, why is it today that we lack that? You can't go to any young lady, young man, and ask them if this is good soil, blah, blah, blah. We don't have no knowledge on any of that type of stuff when it comes to agriculture. We just eating the food, not even knowing. Kids are growing up nowadays not even knowing if fruit's supposed to have seeds in it. They think it come without seeds. You see what I'm saying? So they have no real agricultural knowledge, right? And so now, like I said, Bill Gates is buying up all this farmland. It makes me question and say, damn, well, why does this one motherfucker own it? We used to own this shit. Well, how much did we fucking used to own? Black farmers lost about $326 billion worth of land. If you add that up throughout the 20th century, we lost about $326 billion worth in land throughout the 20th century due to the U.S. Department of Agriculture with their bullshit adding on, you know what I'm saying, with what the racist motherfuckers was doing and the land grabbers was doing, playing Monopoly over here, right? And they was forcing a lot of the indigenous people, the original people who own these farms and the land, to actually force them to sell. You know what I'm saying? So between 1920 and 1997, 1920 and 1977, that's not too long ago, people, and that's about 77 years of work that they put in on us, right? Remember, wealth is land. Land is wealth, right? 1920, 1997, 77 years through about 17 states. We lost that much, about 16 million acres. 16 million acres out of the 2.43 billion acres of the United States. At that time in 1920, when we was peaking, Tulsa, Oklahoma, all that, we was flourishing, we had about 949,889 farms. Almost 1 million farms in 1920. They broke that number down and reduced it to about 35,000. Right? And so, in Texas alone, 25% of the farming there were black. You feel me? So, Ted Turner is another person that we know in our time today. He owns over 2 million acres of land, 25% of what blacks combine to own. So he owned 25%, Ted Turner, that one dude, he owned 25% of what we combined to own way back then. One dude doing this, right? Just got to throw that out there, right? He owned half of the farmland that blacks use today. So the black farmlands that we see today, Ted Turner is the person who owns them, basically, right? Well, it was, because we just know Bill Gates just did some crazy rush, right? So today, it's about 90% of white farming. The farmers that we see today and all that is 90% white. 6.3% is Hispanic, 1.1% is Asian, 1% black, you feel me? 74% male, 26% female, right? 0.6 native, right? So this is where we at with the whole percentages of who's doing all the farming now, right? So somehow they done invaded and took it over from us, owning 16 million fucking acres worth of shit. You feel me? 949,889 farms, all the way to motherfuckers owning 1%. Somebody's really played a trick on us, right? White Americans own about 98% of the U.S. land. 856 million acres, over $1 trillion in bread. Over $1 trillion worth of money right now. So they own 98% of that 2.43 billion acres. They own 98% of that. Landowners, I'm gonna give you a few landowners. John Malone, that nigga owned 202 acres. Irvin family own 1 million or something. Peter Buck own 1 million or something. The Brad Kelly, they own 1 million or something. The Singleton family, they own 1 million or something. You know, this is just giving you some names. Y'all can go research the names of the people who own all of this fucking land and stuff like that. And I'm trying to show you that land is wealth, right? So, land, when we think about agriculture and how important agriculture is, it's cultivating soil. It's one part of agriculture. You have to cultivate soil, right? You got to practice farming, right? It's a natural resource, and it sustains human life, right? It sustains human life, and it also provides economical gain, but that's more Roman, because we know economics is a Roman thing. So somebody wanted to start charging for apples when apples used to be free. You used to be able to just walk outside, grab it off the tree, eat the shit, boom, boom, boom. Somebody said they wanted to make economical gain. That's where you could tell it comes in with the Europeans start tapping in, right? Into what we already had that was abundant and free. So there's 4 types of agricultures. You have shift cultivation, and that's for like the rotation, when you rotating crops and stuff. You have sustenance, that's for yourself, and then when you ain't selling it, it's just for you and your family to survive. You have pastoralism, that's like herding with the animals and shit. Then you have intensive, that's like focus in input and output per unit. So that's more industrial, more economical, etc., right? So the importance of agriculture, some things that are important, it's a source of raw materials, right? It's a main source of raw materials. You can do international trading as well. It can bring in national revenue, right? It provides employment. It also helps with development, right? It heals your environment because it's biodiversity in certain soils and things like that, making healthier soils. So it's biodiversity in that, which makes it healthier environment. It's actually a supply of food, of course, right? And it drives innovation in technology. So we always striving to do and invent new things to make this shit grow faster, whatever it is, right? Reflect on our future, right? So it reproduces poverty, reduces, I'm sorry, not reproduces, but it reduces poverty, it raises income, it improves food, right? Basically, these are the main things that agriculture would do. It's gonna reduce poverty. Motherfuckers won't be so poor if we would learn how to just plant our own foods and stuff and stop spending all the money for a tomato. That shit like $5 right now in the supermarket for one tomato. It's crazy, right? You know, it raised the economy, income, because we provide jobs and all of that stuff like that. Did you know that the World Banking Group is basically the leading financer for agriculture, livestock, crops, and economical engineering? So understand, we have to tap back into what's really important. Like I said, you can't go outside right now and determine what's real soil, what's good soil and not good soil. We don't even know simple things like that. We don't know the certain times when we can harvest, when we can plant, you know, what to plant, what is